I've learned what is terribly important today may not be important at all in 2 weeks. Also, I've learned that if the ground is ready to plant corn, and it's time to plant corn, to do it today, because tomorrow may be a 3-week delay. And if you're too busy to help your neighbor, you're too busy. And you will live just as long or longer taking Sundays off than working Sunday. Should I say that my neighbor told me that I'd be just that much better off if I worked on Sunday? And I said, yes, that's probably correct. But he's buried in the Greenup Cemetery. I'm still working on Monday. And I've had lots of good neighbors that gave me good examples of what life is all about. You should honor God and country and put others first. Treat your family like they're special, because they are. And I don't know whether I can think of anything else.
If you had to give advice to a new father, what would you tell them?
I would tell them to take care of the most precious thing that they have in this life, the newborn child. And that the next one would be just as precious as the first one. And the next one would be just as precious as that. And I don't know what about the rest. I've also learned that various models of tractors would all do the job they were designed to do, but when you got ready to sell them, the John Deere would bring more money to take care of it.
Any
And
advice?
life is too short to sweat the small stuff.
Any advice for newlyweds?
Say yes, dear, a lot.
So tell what your normal day's like.
My normal days now or then.
Whatever.
Well, my normal day is actually at this time of the stage in life, I'm getting up at 6 o'clock.
You used to get up at 4.
Probably not at 4 too many times, but 5 probably. And eat breakfast and listen to the Effingham News, 6:30 News. And out of the house by 7, I do the chores and try to be ready to meet Robert to go to the field or do whatever by
So
7:30 or a quarter late.
what kind of chores do you do?
Well, at present I'm just taking care of chickens and some cattle.
How many cows do you have?
I have 10 cows at the present time and 17 head of feeder cattle, which don't require a lot of work. Check the water and grind feed about every 10 days and put out a bale of hay. Whenever it's the last one is gone, well then you take the tractor and loader and carry another big bale and put it in the feeder. Actually, there's not much involved in taking care of them as long as everything is functioning properly and they haven't ridden the fence down or got the gate open or anything like that. It's always a rude awakening, though, to find one standing on the outside of the fence whenever he should be in, which happens occasionally.
So what do you credit? I mean, you're soon going to have your 87th birthday. What do you credit your long, healthy life to?
I guess because the family has some longevity in the genes probably as much as anything. Uh, Especially on my mother's side, that seems to be the case. On my father's side, not so much. Although maybe a healthy lifestyle with no smoking or not much smoking and a little bit of chewing a skull, which I finally kicked that habit, which is, like all habits, addictive, very addictive, a hard habit to shake.
So stay away from the skull.
Unless you will. I suspect that if I would take a chew now, I would be hooked back again.
Ugh.
In fact, I dream occasionally once in a while that I had a box of skull in my pocket and maybe a chew in my mouth and don't know when I started again.
So you can have some sympathy for people who are
Yeah, I
addicted
have
to
some
things.
sympathy for people who are addicted to that.
Mm-hmm.
You
So are-
take it, you take a chew and you're, why in the world am I doing this? And if you run out, that's the first thing on your mind. Go to town and purchase a box or go to the, which got to be the case, go to the deep freeze and get a box out of your supply.
But you quit that a long time ago.
Quite some time ago.
So are you a Bible reader?
I read the Bible quite regularly. Well, maybe not exactly regularly. I mean, I don't have a particular schedule, although I try to read some every day, probably.
Do you have a favorite verse?
He showed thee, O man, what is good and what does the Lord require thee, but to love mercy, do kindly and walk humbly with thy God. Micah 6:8. Might not have quoted it quite accurately, but
That's a good one. Okay, we're about to run out of
okay.
space. So, any closing comments?
This experience has caused you to think about a few things that you normally don't consider and wonder why your daughter wants to do this.
Okay, thank you.